Everybody, this is Ryan Briggs with Death Metal, and sitting here with Archaon of 1349. What's going on, man?
Good.
So, first and foremost, this is a different guitar than last picture video I got to see you with. You want to talk about the Jackson Kelly a little bit?
Sure. The guitar is one I've had for a while. I've used the Jacksons before, so I mean I have a couple of different guitars, but for this tour, I mean I've lately picked up this one again. It's used it a bit in the studio, but I also it's like mainly my go-to guitars are now this Jackson and the Demoness from English Luthier.
Yeah, that's the one I immediately associate you with, and we've had Dylan on the show before too.
Yeah.
He's a funny guy.
He does amazing guitar work.
Oh, absolutely.
But so does these guys. When I mean, like
sure.
It's
a made in USA.
Yes, they are. Used to started out with something not made in USA, which was
sure.
Not exactly that. But, still good guitar for a purpose. And when you start out, but yeah, this is really delicate, really nicely thin. Like a thin little D-neck, I suppose. Yeah. And whereas the Demoness, it's got like illumination.
Oh, like illuminate stuff.
Yeah.
Those are nice.
So it helps you at least in a dark setting like we have. Because when we play live, we always have like we mainly use the backlights as an effect.
Gotcha. Ambience.
So, less front lights like we almost have because it suits our music better.
Gotcha.
So yeah, but I mean,
and load with EMGs.
Always EMG. I mean, I've stuck to them for a long time. I've tried some different ones, and there are several good ones. But the classic setup, the Slayers 8185 is really good. I mean, it really helps as well. The fact that it's preamp like that makes it a bit more powerful, in terms of output.
Oh yeah, I've long time EMG 81X. I love all of them. Hetfield, all that stuff.
Yeah, sure, and Metallica, of course.
Is this the only guitar you're touring with? You got a backup too?
No, actually, I bought a Fender Strat Silver Burst recently.
Nice,
very cool, nice guitar. I just went out with this first because it's a matter of the one and considering the fact that the start was hectic start of the tour with some really big shows. I saw that show in New York. We had the Maryland Death Fest last night, and
how was
that? Yeah, it's very good,
Nice.
Great turnout and fantastic.
Gotcha.
So
everybody talks about that like it's one of the best festivals going right now. I haven't got to go yet.
I must say I was surprised to see like that big a festival in this genre, like in the States. So I was aware. I've heard about the Maryland Death Fest for a long time and seen all the bands that like it seemed like it was on a big festival of a big scale, but it was really good. And
what string gauge and tuning are you guys in? Because I know people will ask.
This is actually something good to point out. We used to tune in straight E.
Okay.
For a very long, like always, we've done that since the start.
Okay.
And I started out using 10 to 52 strings. SIT string strings that John Desano from Nile actually got me on board with.
Okay.
And I love the feel of them because like I tried different ones but they were really solid and they had endurance to stay good for a good while. So and then I got in touch with them and no reason to change that really because it works very well. So and like I like in a guitar I do like, of course, apart from the aesthetics and the top wood, as you can see, is very beautiful maple. But I mean, the ebony fretboard, I find to have a feel that I like
a tighter grain wood,
denser wood, than the rosewood. I mean, of course, I can play rosewood guitar as well, but I guess it's a matter of preference because it's like doesn't really come down to the player or the tool, I mean, but it's of course easier to play on a good guitar.
Always
making the job
Yeah,
Okay.
get all the hang-ups and unnecessary whatever out of the way.
Right.
That surprised me that you guys are in tune or E standard tuning. Like
Yeah.
it sounds heavier. I guess that's
And
kind
they
of the magic of dialing in just a good overall band mix. But
like all our albums up until I believe now is the first time we recorded the album that is coming up. We have an album being released later this year,
okay,
and we have down tuned a little bit, then adjusted a little bit.
Okay.
You know, it's like vocalist's voice, etc. You want to try it down
Sure.
half a note to E flat. I find it to work really well. It's a bit more heavy. It suits us now, so we do that, and now we've done that like the latter years as well, live.
Nice.
So it works.
So you are right now in E flat then, like
Yes, E flat, yeah.
Killer. I say it makes sense because there's always so much like melodic content into your playing.
Yes,
that kind of helps balance out like the crazy machine gun riffing and all that stuff too. So
I mean, it used to be a little not an anecdote, but a little bit of story behind that was that the, like strings we were into the Gauge strings 1052 was I wanted that because I wanted to have like a heavier strings than your average black metal. Or even though we play that style and we focus on preserving that the uniqueness and the typical style of the elements of that genre. So we want to keep that intact, and to do that, part of it was like to have a bit of a not the thinner sound, but a bit of a sharpness.
right.
But also in order to get something more updated and more heavy, I try to like spend to make music and play it on that thicker strings in E. But of course, it's like when you tune in E with those thick strings, it's hard work. And also, I used to use picks with the 1 millimeter. The Jazz 3, the red one, Dunlop. I still use Dunlop picks. I have like now I'm using still the Jazz models as well, but I got tendonitis back in the day, and that's the bitch we don't want. It's like every guitarist big fear. So a good while ago, but I've had some treatment on it. Gotcha. Try to like do some small exercise to prevent that. But I had to like try to relearn to play that, and I went down in string gauge. So now I do 9 to 46.
Okay.
So when you go down to E flat, you could also do that without because the strain on the strings, and also a thinner pick now than what I used to. So I got like lighter strings and thinner picks, but that also made it difficult. So I had to kind of try to relearn how to
adjust your technique.
Pressure, so took probably like 1.5 years, so or at least 1 year to like get comfortable with it. I mean, you can do it, but because there's the question of like output power, and that's which brings me to why we were talking about EMGs as well with the preamp in it.
Oh yeah.
That's why it still works out for me. I'll always be curious on different things that I've seen and heard. Like plenty of pickups.
So many
people
pickups
talk about bare knuckles. I never tried them, but I've heard a lot of people saying good stuff.
They're good. I've had a guitar with them. If I didn't buy it used, they're a little pricey. But no, you can find good deals on them. They're solid. There's so many boutique guys out there now doing hand wound and all that. It's kind of hard to go wrong at this point.
Sure.
But EMG still do their thing. Like they still have their own market, and I think kind of always will at this point.
Yeah. Very much so, and reliable.
Yeah,
just
consistent, and for sure.
And I was stuck with them since 2006.
Okay.
Yeah, so like a long time ago, and that's been a faithful relationship for sure.
We can just kind of go over here.
Sure.
Marshall.
I mean Marshall. as a brand, of course. It's like you know it very well because most of the places when you go out and do like flying jobs or
Right.
is what you meet there is some places may have some PV, of course, and also Marshall, nothing. So, but it's like the app in itself wouldn't produce enough gain, of course.
Yeah.
But however, like the speakers and this particular amp, I like really much the JVM.
Mm-hmm.
I used that a long time. I still have it in Norway as well.
Okay.
In my rehearsal space. So recording wise, I've also used that one on the Infernal Pathway at least.
Okay.
Not the latest one, but the previous one we used it a bit and live and it like with all the channels, you know, it's got 3 channels.
Mm-hmm.
It's got like different options to. And it's got that extra bit of crunch that most people don't find in Marshall. I've spoken to a lot of colleagues in the industry, and they're like, oh, you know, it's a bit of that. If they don't want to get the clarity that they get in whatever they use, you know, like I don't know. Obsidian CEO, I think he used Engel. He was really, at least at some point, and he was really happy about that, you know. And I get it. It's like a lot of people are chasing that type. But I found that this amplifier got me a lot of that too. I mean, this was like a new era of Marshall. When I heard this one the first time, I was like, whoa.
Oh yeah.
It's this one is still tubes and you get that authenticity, but it's much more an updated.
Oh, for sure.
Modern amp. So it's got the possibilities to work in more fields and obviously in metal, which I operate in. So I like it, but for practical reasons, you know, I mean, the cabs are what they are.
Yeah,
It's like they're always good quality, and it's like 1968 BU is like, why wouldn't you? Could you? Yeah, that's the easy go-to. And then, as I mentioned earlier, that's why we meet on festivals and bigger productions like that. So it's good to have that predictability. As far as
I noticed you kind of got it on. It looks like you've, unless you just have it for muting purposes. Are you playing on the crunch channel for your set?
Right now, I don't do that because I started using this simulator.
Oh, okay.
Quite now, you started using it, this one last year. You're familiar with the Quad Cortex from Neural DSP?
Oh yeah.
And then what I was going to say is like a lot of people have preference for an amp, and I thought I had it too.
Yeah.
I thought I was like strictly stay with the amp because, but I must admit that I don't know if it's nostalgia or if it's actually just I kind of feel confused about it because this is so alike.
Yeah.
The true thing, you know, it's like it's so good. So of practical reasons, I have no qualms on flying around when we're a traveling musician with this kit is just immensely great.
Sure.
I mean, it helps you from flying more lightweight. It's always very, very reliable. It's got the noise gate and everything that works properly. It's got, of course, tons of effect and always additionals more because of the digital era we live in now and like a different different world than for say 20 or 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Like it's really different. The whole job has changed a bit. Like just trying to hang in there. And I mean, I'm slow in the band like that. Our bassist is more updated, but there's also who I sometimes go to for advice about this, and our producer Jared, our front of house too. He was really into it, and his band Polka Morte, they also went with this one. So and a couple of friends in Norway, I believe Ishan from Emperor is using it now. And
sick.
And my guitar in Norway, he was the one that showed it to me. So yeah, so that's the new 309.
So are you basically kind of like running that into the clean channel of this and just kind of like
producing the
gotcha.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So and also Shure wireless systems. You can see the new. I bought that last year too.
Yeah.
Because I've been kind of so with them wireless ones.
Oh yeah.
I tried the last one I had was a Line 6, I think.
Yeah, the relay or whatever they're called.
Yeah, I was told it was, but I found that at least when I clipped and I don't know for what reason. But it clicked with it, so I couldn't go with it, and
Gotcha.
and I just stayed on cable. And I get so uncomfortable that I just don't not fuck well then I'll just go with that and stick to what I can trust.
Of course.
But then this one I was told it was also new and reliable and it has proven to be so far. It's really good.
Awesome.
Easy to work with.
Is there an amp model in there that you're kind of preferring right now that you dig?
It's a custom one made by our House sound engineer.
Oh, okay.
Because he basically, long story short about that, is that the studio we were in Norway to record a new album, Amper Tone, like angry tone.
Okay.
He has housed bands. It's from the founder of the main man behind the Dum Dum Boys, a big Norwegian a big radio band you hear every day in Norway.
Sure.
Huge. This guy has a huge studio, really good studio, which was torn down, but they moved, and now the new we went to recorded the last one, and then some of the equipment we had there. Because we have recorded at Ronny Leteker from TNT fame.
Okay. Yeah.
10,000. So everybody knows it's like huge. Yeah. So we've been to Ronny's place for 6 out of 8 albums.
Oh, wow.
The first one was a different studio in Oslo, but the rest of them has been recorded at studio.
Okay.
And then the last one we recorded in the Boy studio, and then Jared, our producer, he found that Soldano amp that he saw where we wanted to toy around with. Of course, he did that with some boxes that he brought, some classic. I think it was some old boxes actually, like to just make it and get the right. To get the right levels of distortion and everything.
Oh, sure. Just kind of slam the front end a bit.
And then you profile, just like we profiled he brought it. He took his sounds to his studio in Orlando and worked on them there as well. And he tried it out in different venues and halls. Cool. So he's worked out live sound and trying it for the first time on this tour, but sounds killer.
So what we heard at Soundcheck so far, it sounds amazing.
Thank you.
Well, we're going to do a little cut here and clear the stage so that way the next band can go ahead and backline, and we will continue this in a second. All right, guys, we're hanging out here with Archaon. We've got done with the Soundcheck. We're just going to ask a few, I guess, a little bit more personal questions for fans to kind of get to know you a little bit.
Sure.
First and foremost, what was your beginnings with guitar and music? What was that like?
Wow, that's a long story back. But let's see. Let's try to. I'm really bad with that, like making long story short. My wife says, no, I can't do that. I said, okay, I'll try. I got introduced to music through media, like friends. So, to complete start, the first thing I got into was Michael Jackson. Just fast forward now. After Michael Jackson, it was Motley Crue. I think I saw Looks That Kill on TV, and I was like, that's exactly what I need. And then, it was like Iron Maiden, Slayer, Anthrax, Metallica, all the thrash metal scene at the time. I went into more darker, extreme stuff, like the York and the Northern English doom metal scene a lot. And eventually, I found value in black metal as a genre. I didn't right away, but after hearing like Ulver, Bergtatt, I remember, and the Mysteries of the Tanas by Mayhem, I found it to be like a horror movie in terms of music, and I love that. So and then the mystique and everything, it was like something that I found intriguing, and I chased it down the rabbit hole.
Well, I think everyone's happy you did. So, what do you happen to remember your first guitar by any chance?
Yeah, I do. It was a white. I got that from my mother. It was a white Maya Les Paul.
Okay.
Maya, I'm not sure where that company. It must be Japanese something.
I've never heard of it.
It's I believe it is, because I tried to read up on it once because I've been curious about that myself. one of those first, those who got away. That's like a guitar like that. Because my mother bought me that from. No, actually, to be frank and honest, my first guitar was an acoustic guitar. It was a small one, more like a string. One my grandmother, my grandfather bought me. But that's only so much you can do with that, and playing metal riffs on that, it doesn't help. So you got to have a real guitar, and I got that. My mother was so kind to get me that white Maya, let's go, from a friend to bought it from, and the Fender Princeton reverb amp.
Okay,
you know them.
Nice,
Like you don't when you're say 12, 13, it's not cool because it's like
sure.
You can hear Russian radio coming in, and it is like. But I wanted heavy metal,
right.
So, fun fact is, I had to use distortion boxes, and boss pedals, and get the metal song, get some real stuff on there, and then eventually, when I got a little bit older, I got most of my friends in the second school was attending this linguistic course, the language. Like they call it a linguistic trip, where you can. Go to another country to learn the language, and I was supposed to. Yes, I mean that was something that my mother asked her if it would be possible in a way, and her reply was more. I didn't think that was an alternative. She was like, "No, you got to decide now. Can't have both. So it's either that or the Marshall amp." Oh, that isn't. I just thought I knew right away. It's like, screw that trip. I'm getting that Marshall. It was like four 12-inch speakers. Finally, that dream of yours to get that cab, just to have a cab in it. And I believe that to be like the most valuable time of at least my subjective learning curve, because of that. I remember like the following moment in time there is one of those holy grails. As you sit down in the basement, you just don't do anything else. You just sit in and constantly play because you get so motivated, because you have this self-realization of just meeting that wall of sound and start tweaking and figuring out a bit of things and to experience that power.
It's it's that whole adolescent, self-discovery. It just becomes all kind of focused in on music, playing guitar, and finding out kind of your identity that way. I kind of went through the same thing myself when I was that age. I think most people that get into this kind of do. It's kind of why music becomes so vital and important to us.
Exactly. Fun fact though is that paradoxically enough, is when I came to more closer to my current age, it's like 5-6 years ago, and I don't know, 10 years ago. 12 years ago, something like that. Time flies, and then I'm like, I've always been bugged by that amp, because the amp that I didn't think was cool, Mom exchanged in for when she bought the I think I need that. I finally got the transistor amp, but it's always bugged me even since. Like the more I've learned about guitar sounds that I like, it's like that clear sound of that Fender Princeton reverb. I can still, to this very day, hear exactly how the sum is when I hit the string of an 8, and the way it resonated. I remember and feel exactly that sound of that string. It's really weird, but I still, when I think about it now, I know exactly what it sounds like. I still hear it. So, but now it's just like, it's not that pricey. It's different. So I can't believe and it's a bit of a rare one too, because it's like the old model I had then.
Oh yeah.
Probably not as easy as finding now,
Not affordably, no.
From like 90, 91, 92 to it's a while ago. So that amp is probably changed tubes in and modified maybe, and who knows if it's I don't know. So but I remember that very well. I'm gonna get myself one of those amps again though.
You should. That'll I don't know, maybe I'm not sure how old you are. Maybe like what
44,
is it? 44.
So going on
what are like the golden years, like 70 or something? That'll be like your instead of a Rolex or whatever people do. That'll be your gift.
Rather that, for sure. Pragmatic.
So what exactly is your songwriting process like now? This far into your career, after this many years of playing, what does the songwriting process look like for you?
Yeah, it's been like a path as well, because we used to be two guitarists in when I joined the band. I mean, they started like approximately a year before I joined, so they recorded a demo or so, but nothing official.
Mm-hmm.
And then, Shalve, the other guitarist, we started by just exchanging riffs. We just basically was everybody wanted to stay in the band. Third for Nine works in a kind of democratic way, which is a good thing, because I think it's probably not very typical for the band model to be like that.
Yeah.
More often, I think, there's one that's direct the way the band works. But it's like with two guitarists and the bassist, and then, like everybody chopped in with what they could, with the riffs, and we just like piled together in the rehearsal space. On the first album, it's somehow changed a little bit on the second album, and like if it was in like the dynamics of it, and the third album, and they got more and more like for one person, be that one of us guitarists, to write the whole song here, the two whole songs to that album, the rest being compiled like that. And then from when Shalve exited in 2006, we were in the studio and recorded what became Demon Noir in 2008.
Okay.
But it wasn't released until 2 years later. It took a while to work with it.
Okay.
In the meantime, we released another album, Relations by Femme, and we released Demon Noir in 2010. But it was a very aggressive album, and it's like it probably took a while for people to adjust after the previous album. And then the way it started the song writing process, then when I was alone about it, pretty much was a bit different, because then you meet not the obstacle of writing that's exciting enough, but when you try to benchmark yourself on it, it's really tough, because nothing is good enough. And there has to be, if it's technically satisfying, then it might not have the atmospheric elements that's kind of needed. So I'm battling with that. It's like, because in this genre, black metal is like that's at least half of the game, to be able to keep the atmosphere intact. That is a very, very vital part of the whole genre.
Sure.
Maybe more so than many other metal genres, where technique is the first thing that comes to mind. But the way to kind of entangle that into each other, it's a bit of a challenge, and it has to be done in an authentic way.
Right.
I find, and then, but it's like we've been learning that along the way, and on the Masterclass of Chaos from 2014, there was a lot of inspiration. Like me and Frost discussed a lot. I remember we met on very mutual terms there musically. We are like mostly that bit driving force when it comes to starting out the writing pro. Like if I've written most of the home, he will have say to maybe like another round of that, or like add this little tweak at the end, small arrangement bits or so, and he's got some contributions, which has been really good too, and he has a much more primal, not being a guitarist, sometimes I would like for the riffs from the other guys, if they have something, like it's good just to broaden the specter a little bit, because so you don't get locked in your own world, because one man can only have that mind, really. So you try, at least I try to do it, execute it in a way that gives broader room.
Sure.
And that is a big challenge. And I felt that like on the new one, Infernal Path was of course good leap or good direction. from his predecessor, and now the new one is going to be well. I can say with the hand on my heart. Oh, sorry, the hand on my heart. It's really. It really felt like that, you know, that we succeeded finding the mature but still the brutality intact of 34.9's nature, which is not easy, but like, yeah, I think we succeeded with that this time. We all think that we discussed it up and down all around and eventually been happy with the outcome. So I look forward to showing you in October.
Well, the previous two albums have been probably my favorite to date, and I guess I was a little bit late to the party. I actually discovered those first and have retroactively gone back and listened to everything else and love all of it.
True.
But this seems, at least to my ears, kind of a clear thread of a kind of a thrash metal influence on Cauldron and Pathway that really, really kind of grabbed my attention immediately.
Nice.
So to kind of hear that's part of maybe, at least what I'm hearing, to hear that that's kind of part of your all's maturing process and can look forward to that on the next album, that personally pretty excited.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. And then, like when I mentioned earlier, like Anthrax Slayer, Gaga, and all that, we met on mutual grounds like that when on several of these. You know, if it's a little bit in the age difference or whatever that has made us contributed with and discussing different things and showing something else. It's been part of also broadening. So I remember still like bands like Exodus and Possessed, you know, and all this. We've done some covers of these and Voivod, and like there's a lot of trash that we have united about in the band, in a unison decision. Done covers of, and because we all share. We of course have, being 4 different individuals in the band, we have different taste and something that can strengthen the band and be. I mean, at this point of time, you know, you're adult enough to like what you do and you know what you like, and hence it's like to try to meet on a mutual ground, but even if it's your schizophrenic starting point, you know, it's great. I mean, in my eyes, that's just another strength to the band. I love the fact that it gets so kind of fragmented in start, and then we manage to compile this into a smooth dish in the end, you know, sonically.
Yeah.
And it's a challenge, but it's an exciting travel journey.
Sure. Well, man, just to kind of close us out here, I always like to end our interviews with the same kind of question. What would be your top 4 most influential albums, your personal Mount Rushmore of albums or bands, whatever's easier?
Thank you for giving me 4, because normally people ask and it's like, I would say, I have to do 10, you know. Okay, 4. I mean, you said 4, so now I got to do like that. But choose one from each genre. So, first one, easy. Thin Lizzy, Live and Dangerous.
Okay, killer.
Just because, you know, reason for that is you get a compilation of Thin Lizzy, but you also get like that the vibe, live vibe.
Yeah,
it's amazing. I mean, that album is. It's a go-to album for me.
Sure.
And I think I have to throw in Ride Lightning, of course. Needless to say.
Yeah.
Gaga. And I would say previously no. We're battling between the Mysteries of the Thomas and Anthems to the Welkin of Dusk with Emperor now.
Oh, that's a tough.
We have to have one of them. I would say probably one of them, yeah. And it's tough. It's really tough. Probably Dire Straits, Brothers in Arms.
Okay, sick.
I think
that's a killer list. Normally we get like the big 4 of death metal or of thrash metal or something like that. But
I could have done that too, but it's like so much good music out there.
Yeah, no, I like the variety there.
Mm-hmm.
Well, dude, thank you so much for your time.
Thanks, man.
Thanks.
And